The results are final for the voting poll I created back in mid-March, and what I had you guys do is vote for 3 characters that you want the most in Mortal Kombat 11, and with that, we got a big number of over 12,000 votes from you guys. First of all, thank you all so much for participating. The goal for this was to get a general sense of what the community is pushing for in terms of characters they want for the game's roster, and I wanted to capture this as accurate as I could by blocking the IP address for multiple voting from one person. I know there have been some similar polls in the past for MKX where they had like over 50,000 votes, but the poll allowed multiple voting from one person, and I don't necessarily see that as an accurate way to see what the general fans want. So that's why I didn't allow it. I'm sure if I did, I probably would have had over like 70,000 votes, but I chose accuracy over the quantity of votes. And hell, I didn't even have you guys look at the results because it would spoil the whole point of this video. So with that being said, let's look at the top 10 characters you guys are hoping for in Mortal Kombat 11 one by one, as well as mentioning the top 20. Number 10 is the best original sorcerer, Shang Tsung. I think this shows that many fans are kind of tired of Quan Chi already and are ready to see this sorcerer get the main spotlight, because if people weren't tired of Quan Chi, he probably would have been higher in the numbers and not in the bottom 20 of this poll. I also think people are very interested to see what his morphing abilities will be like now. Will he turn into other characters in the roster like in the old classic games, or will he just change into the character he's fighting against like how it was in MK9? I'm personally rooting for him to change into other characters on the roster just so I can see if that can be balanced. Number 9 is not a surprising character, and that is Scorpion. Oh man, I wonder if Scorpion will make it into MK11. I think his chances are good, but I wouldn't say guaranteed. I'm joking guys, but the reason why I think Scorpion is this high on this list is just that he's simply the face of Mortal Kombat, and with that, he becomes a lot of people's favorite characters. So of course, when the question is asked, who do you want the most in Mortal Kombat, if your favorite is Scorpion, you're probably going to put him down. Now number 8 is, well, you may have guessed it, and that is Sub-Zero. For the reasons Scorpion has made the top 10, I think they apply to Sub-Zero as well. I do think him being in Injustice 2 though, may have gotten him a few new fans added to his already big and enormous fan base. I would probably say Sub-Zero from a gameplay design was absolutely fantastic in Injustice 2. Probably the best Sub-Zero has played like, and I would like to see that back for MK11. And if you say, oh, he's just a copy and paste from MKX, what are you talking about? You haven't played Sub-Zero in Injustice 2, you don't know what you're talking about. But anyways, if Sub-Zero were to be that fun in MK11 like he was in Injustice 2, then I will play him again once more. Number 7 is a controversial one, and I'm honestly not surprised by this, and that is Mileena. I'm telling you guys, the Mileena fan base is super strong. You guys are very strong. It reminds me of Kitana's fan base back in the Mortal Kombat X hype days. The similarities right there are just very, very strong. Anyways, even though she did die, that really didn't stop any demand for her to be in the next game. Usually with characters who die, the demand for them goes away for the next game because they usually say, oh well, I know they won't be back, so I don't see the point in asking. That's definitely not the case for Mileena, obviously. I am still in full belief that she will not return in MK11 on the main roster. I think they're going to have Jade get some spotlight, which she kind of needs, and if anything, Mileena will be a DLC choice. I can just imagine the hype surrounding that trailer if it does happen. But I don't want to be talking about DLC by any means because that's just way too early, and I think it's kind of stupid to talk about any sort of DLC characters at this current time. I'm just like, hold on guys, let's just take some baby steps first. I'm very happy for the number 6 slot for this list, and this one goes to Fujin. Very glad to see the demand for him is still present within the MK community. I was afraid that his huge demand for him to be an MKX would fade away for MK11, but nope, it's still alive and running. I don't think there was any reason for Fujin not to be an MKX, and I also think there's no reason for Fujin not to be an MK11. If I'm not mistaken, and I hope I'm wrong, and I'd like to be wrong about this, but I do remember something about Ed Boon saying that Fujin isn't as popular or demanded as we think he is, and I'm just like, really though, Ed? I mean, he's always placed high in the polls, he's always mentioned on the forums and such, So what are the numbers you have? I would like to see those. Again, I am very happy that he's on this list, and this is just another piece of evidence showing that Fujin is one of the most heavily demanded characters for the game. Number 5 though is another character who also should not have missed out in MKX, and that is Rain. The Rain fans, in all honesty, are in full right to show a big passionate demand for him going into the next game. It's funny because I remember Tim from the Nethercast said something like, Rain had his bags already packed for the bus to MKX and Ed Boon just closed the bus doors on him and flipped him off while the bus drove away. And when you really think about it, it's really true. He got a new design for the game, he played a role in the game's story, and mind you, even a bigger role than half of the characters that are on the roster, and he had the animations there, a new voice actor, and again, why wasn't he in MKX? Rain didn't even get a starting roster spot at MK9, which was the game that was a reunion for all characters from MK1 to MK3 to be on that roster, and he is one of those characters. Rain needs a starting roster spot in MK11, and if we don't get that, I think all hope is lost for Rain. But don't worry guys, I do have full confidence that Rain will make it into the next game on the main roster. I'm also really happy to see this character on the number 4 slot, and that is my favorite female character, Scarlet. I'm sure there's a percentage in there that voted for her because they watch my videos and have grown to like her because of my videos. Not to say that I'm a god or anything, I'm just saying that there might be an influence there, but I'd like to believe most of these votes came from a lot of the general Mortal Kombat fans. I say this because she placed second on Ed Boon's poll a while ago, surprisingly beating Sindel. So she's definitely got her fans out there, and I do think she's got a big chance for this game than she ever did in MKX for MK11. Alright, now we're moving into the top 3, fellas. This is where it's at. So at number 3, we have Smoke. I really like where Smoke is at on this list. Smoke was just awesome in MK9, super fun to play, and hype to watch as well. I did put Smoke and Cyber Smoke as separate choices just so I can see which version of Smoke people really want, and Human Smoke won by a landslide. Smoke's definitely got a big fan base, and even though I wouldn't bet on him returning, I would still be very disappointed if he didn't make it on the roster. Number 2 is Jade. Not really surprising in my opinion, it's just nice to see once again that the fans really do want to see this character back. I also think she got some new fans from what all this mysterious hyping is all about from NetherRealm and the character endings. It sounds promising and intriguing, so I know for a lot of us, including myself, want to see this play out in MK11. Alright guys, at number 1, which is also not surprising, is Noob Saibot. This also goes ahead and proves that you should not take out this character in a Mortal Kombat game. I think with him placing number 1 or 2 on so many of these polls and stuff, he might as well become another staple character like Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Raiden, Liu Kang, and Kitana. Noob Saibot adds that sense of intrigue when he's in a Mortal Kombat game. He's always been that mysterious character back in the classic games, and when it was revealed that he's actually the original Sub-Zero, it was a huge, mind-blowing thing for Mortal Kombat, and after that, everyone wants to know what's next for him. He's also a perfect choice for some edgelord representation on the roster because we really don't have that in MKX. So those are the top 10 characters that you guys voted for MK11. Thank you all so much for participating. Over 12,000 votes is just amazing. I can't thank you guys enough. But since I know you really want to see the placement of some other characters that you may have voted for but didn't make the list, I'll read those off for you. Number 11 was Onaga. This is definitely his time to shine for a Mortal Kombat game, and it's the only real boss NetherRealm has left. Number 12 is Kitana, though not in the top 10, her fanbase continues to show some great support for her. Number 13 is Frost. I'm sure a lot of fans of the franchise would love to play as the female version of one of Mortal Kombat's mascots. Number 14 is Baraka, and I know many of you Baraka fans are really bitter about how they treated him in MKX, and I've also got to admit, that alien reveal was just not cool at all. Anyways, number 15 is Cabal. I would really like to believe these mainly came from the competitive side because he was just a god in MK9 with Rio popping out his Cabal in the tournaments and such. Number 16 is Havoc. Really glad to see him in this position. Not in the top 10, but it's a really good place for Havoc. 17 is Serena. Really surprising to see her make it into the top 20. I would also like to see her come back as well. 18 is Aaron Black, just goes to show how popular Aaron Black really is, which is really nice because I like him too. Number 19 is Nightwolf, which really surprised me because I really like Nightwolf, but I didn't know many of you guys also really want to see him back as well. And finally, at number 20, we have Sindel. So many surprises in this voting poll. Maybe not so much in the top 10, but in the top 20, I can definitely say that I'm impressed and you guys really do have good taste. So there you have it, fellas. That's who you all voted for and who you want in Mortal Kombat 11. But let me know in the comments who you guys voted for and did they make the top 20 or the top 10? I'm curious to know who you did vote for. If you want to see the full results, I'll link that in the description. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like to show your support and subscribe for more Mortal Kombat 11 content on the channel. That's going to wrap things up for today, fellas, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.